All right, I know I'm late. I missed the episode 6 review because I had intentions to just make it solely about Kristen Cole and just go over his entire character arc, and I think I made it too complicated for myself. And anyway, I'm going to save that for another day because I think that can stand out on its own without, it doesn't need to necessarily be linked to the timing of these reviews. But you should know that I thought episode 6 was a complete bore, and that's a bigger reason why I didn't want to talk about it, because it was just like, what's even to talk about here other than Kristen Cole getting shot in the face? Anyway, you'll see my take on that eventually, on the kind of person and the danger and the warning that Kristen Cole is for modern man. At any rate, episode 7, almost just as boring. Almost just as boring. I could nitpick probably literally every scene. And that's kind of the issue with the show at the moment. It does seem like everything is scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. It's all and then writing. The scenes themselves don't adhere to the logic of the world. And you know why that is? Because the show knows you're watching the show. So they do things and they write sequences knowing that you're watching it. It doesn't matter that it doesn't adhere to the logic of the world. They do it for effect. And that is lazy. It makes everything more frustrating. And I think it causes a lot more problems than you might think. But I'm just under the impression that these people actually don't want to do the show. That's my impression at this point. Based on everything we've seen so far in season 3, it's like they actually just don't want to do this. Because if they did want to do it, they would do it the right way. And they would know what's expected. Or, maybe I'm the delusional one, and the majority of people are completely satisfied with this level of storytelling. I don't know. I would find that hard to believe, but I haven't looked into it. Of course, a lot of the main critical reviews of the show are bought and paid for anyway. So let's just go over the best parts of the episode, or rather just the best part of the episode, which I think everyone is in agreement. It is Aegon and Sunfire united once again. Bros broing down with Tylan. Tylan's a part of the bro club now. Let's bro. Burning the Baratheon tribe, or these guys, the Moots, whatever their name was, I don't know. But they've got the Baratheon sigil, I think. Cinematically, that was fun to watch. I mean, it was fun to watch Aegon rise like a phoenix out of the ashes, that was this emergence, like I'm back basically. And it was cool seeing him just be a dark mage in the forest and just screaming as his dragon, like a victorious scream, as his dragon is burning everybody. I like that little effect, because generally speaking, we get the dramatic Dracarys moment, and then it either cuts or they would do this really cringy sound drop every time Daenerys would do it in the original show. She'd be like, Dracarys, and they go, brr, 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 brr. It seriously made me cringe every time. It's like we were supposed to be like, oh shit, girl, it wasn't, I didn't like that at all. And so they generally cut, but this Dracarys, definitely one of the best ones they've done. It looked cool, and he's just arms outstretched, sword in hand, just screaming, ah! Like just some evil mage in the forest. I like that. I like that he's just he's almost like this mage type at this point, There's something about him, like he's all deformed, wearing the cloak, but he's got this dark sword. I don't remember what the name of that sword is, and then his dragon looks all messed up. So I liked all that. However, this is another scene done for effect. I don't know why they had to camp out literally in the walkway of an army. I don't know. Are they trying to imply it was completely impossible to hide in the wilderness? There was no way out of this? I don't know. So it seemed very forced to have the scene. I like the scene itself. I mean, I like what it signifies. But it's almost like you have to take every scene as it's just a metaphor for the scene. It's not that they were literally standing in the way of the army, but it is the idea that something happened between Aegon and this army, you know? Like it's all metaphorical, because logically it becomes very hard to justify. Why are they not camped? He said he wanted to be buried with his dragon. So why are they not camped out with the dragon? Oh, because they want to have this dramatic entrance. That's how you do show business. And that's show business. And now enter stage left, Sunfire. All right. You know, it's like this kind of thing. There's 1,000 ways you could do that. I think they chose probably the easiest one. And it seems like they just keep choosing the easiest things. All right, so now into more negative aspects. I'll just try to stick to one because, yeah, like I said, there's just so much I could get into. Of course, every scene with Missandra is abysmal. They put her in the throne room talking, echoing off the walls how she's going to try and manipulate the queen with guards there. What is this world? Okay, what happened to the verisimilitude of this world? She's supposed to be the master of whispers. Why is she taking this peasant woman who's, you know, one of her insiders into the throne room to discuss this? She should be, if the meeting had to happen, she should be meeting her in the streets. But they need the scene. They wrote this scene of a girl telling her off, and so they thought it doesn't really work having that woman tell her off if she's not also in a location where she can remark on that, you know? So they couldn't have her do it in Flea Bottom, because then she could counter. She could say, well, I'm here in Flea Bottom. I'm not in silks. I'm disguised. I'm here to be one of you because I am one of you. Instead, they needed the scene to be representative of what the girl wanted to tell her off about. So it just so happens they were in the throne room where she's wearing her nice silks and she could tell her, you know, oh, look at you now, you know. That's all they did it for. They don't adhere to the logic of the world. They ignore it completely for the sake of the stupid fucking scenes. And then you've just got scenes and scenes, and they're all just stitched together, and there's no through line through how this world actually behaves, because if people actually behaved the way that they do in these scenes, this is clown world. So that's the Missandra thing. Then there's the storyline that I need a bullet in my head. Rhaena. Oh my God. This has been the pit of despair for me, is this whole plot line with Rhaena. So now Rhaena, again, can't stick to her word on anything. Now she's changing her mind. She commits to nothing besides her own whims. That's it. How do I feel today? And then she goes off, and I saw my sister, so actually I can't be separated from everyone like I swore off to you, Dad. But they had to have a scene where she gets to be indignant towards her father. They just had to have that. Which then doesn't matter at all, right? That indignance doesn't mean anything. It's feckless, it's fake, it's weak. Just as it was in the scene itself, whatever episode that was, where she was telling Daemon off, you never cared about me, so I had to get a dragon. So I abandoned your other children, and blah, blah, blah. I don't have any sense of duty. I just do whatever I want all the time, and then I blame everyone else for not caring about me. Hey, maybe if you did something of fucking worth, Rhaena, maybe if you did your fucking job. So you get this big dragon fight, and I think that they think that's satiating us, because I expected probably the Battle of Tumbleton this episode, but they might even blue ball us into the next season for that. That's actually their, if we're 2 episodes off, technically speaking, as in season 2 or season 3 started with 2 episodes that should have ended season 2, then it seems like we probably won't get Tumbleton if that's the track we're on. So anyway, they do this dragon situation, and granted, it was cool to see all the dragons do stuff, and it was pretty tense, actually. I was like, oh shit, are we finally going to see some dragon death? I don't like the dragons dying. You know, I don't want to see them die. actually. So it's very like every time one of them dies, you're like, oh no, like I don't get to see you anymore. So I was kind of worried that maybe this is the end of Sheep Stealer. I don't know. Or Cyrax, which is Rhaenyra's dragon. I thought Cyrax was going to get owned for a second. But anyway, everyone survives. But you've got Rhaena, before all the dragons arrive, you've got Rhaena saying things like, I saw Vhagar, I'm looking for Vhagar to regain my honor, to do all this stuff. And it's like she's got a brand new idea again. She can't stick to her word. But furthermore, I predicted this. At the time of Jace's death, that episode, I completely predicted that, was that episode 1? That there would be no consequences to this. Undoubtedly, there would be no consequences. They're going to fake the idea of consequences so they can milk it for all of its worth, which is what they've done, even up until this episode. And what's so funny, look at the message you're sending. They keep trying to paint Rhaena as this sympathetic figure that's just trying to do right by everybody. What is the decision she makes? Instead of owning up to her responsibilities, after all that seeking absolution talk, and that if she can't live with absolution, she'll die with it, she runs. Literally fleeing accountability. Sound familiar to anybody? Literally fleeing the scene instead of saying, no, Father, I'll take this. I'll take the brunt of this now. I'm tired of running, or something like that. She just runs immediately like a little bitch and gets caught, right? Gets caught anyway. So there was really no point to that. Again, the only point to it was to get Adam, Rhaena, and Rhaenyra off their dragons so they could do some dragon CG stuff. So they needed like this on-foot chase, which honestly, it didn't need to happen. Like, you could have had Adam get off his dragon anyway. Rhaena's sitting there. They could have hashed it out. No dragons needed to spill blood. But then you don't get the scene. So that's what I'm saying. They write for the scene itself. They have one idea about the scene, and they're like, well, we have to have the dragons fight. So now we write around that concept, because we really don't have anything else in this episode besides Aegon's moment. So the whole thing is flimsy. Of course, the first thing Rhaenyra says back at the castle when they've got Rhaena back in their hands to Daemon, he was like, well, I was worried. The real Daemon was never worried about that. He would have known Rhaenyra well enough that she would not kill his daughter. Okay, that would be insane. It would be insane. He's acting like that's what would happen. No, that would be insane. Okay, husband, let me murder your child. It's not going to happen. We already knew it was not going to happen. This is why I knew there was going to be no consequences. The first thing Rhaenyra says is something to the effect of, did you really think I would do something like that, or something? You know, she's more upset that Daemon just didn't tell her. And it's like, yeah, this bullshit of nobody actually speaks to each other. This is clown world. It's not believable. And then Baela forgives her immediately. Baela shows up and she's like, oh dear sister, you would have been queen. I'm so sorry. That's enough now. It's all done. We start new now. And by the way, I've got 2 new dicks to talk about. Okay, wait until you hear this story. And Jace is rolling in his grave. And Kristen Cole's there with them rolling, and they're both going, so true, man. You can't trust these hoes. Because that's Kristen Cole's story just as much. Once I get into that. So Baela's already got 2 new guys. Just wait till I tell you. All's forgiven, sis. Like, I've moved on. Like, Rhaena's the only one troubled by Jace's death at this point. That's what's ironic. That's what's funny. Anyway, I think that's it. I can't go on anymore. Or I'm going to jump out a window. It's just crazy. So that's it. That's all I want to say. All the best. Bye.